The Oklahoma Business Show is proudly sponsored by Your IT. Visit yourit.com to learn more about our services and schedule a chat to find out how we can help you. That's yourit.com. You deserve better IT.
I'm Chris Mraz, and welcome to the Oklahoma Business Show, where we speak with business owners and leaders about their struggles, successes, and things they've learned along the way. Welcome, everybody. Delighted to have you guys back here at the Oklahoma Business Show with us today. I've got Sybil Hale. Many of you probably already know Sybil, but delighted to be sitting down and chatting. Of course, Sybil's the founder and owner of Pros Make Ready Sanitizing Services, networking queen, and just an amazing person.
Well, thank you.
But why don't you kick us off with a little better bio than what I can do?
Well, I'm a child of God. I'm a mother, a wife, a business owner, a connector. I love people. I'm in the service industry and have been for 30 years. I love connecting people and I just love helping people. That's who I am.
Tell me about that passion. I mean, most business owners are, when they sit down, talk about their business and their drive. It's interesting that the first thing you start off with is kind of connector, and tell me a little bit about kind of what that means to you.
Well, I started my business. I started a housekeeping service back in 93. And so it was one of those things, as things grew, people always ask me different things. It's like, who do you know that does this? Who do you know that does that? And so I actually started becoming a connector at the very beginning, not even realizing that's what I was doing. And as that had grown, then I, on purpose, was connecting people. So, and it just makes my heart happy when I can help somebody. I love doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
currently owner of Pros Make Ready. Why sanitizing solutions?
100% a God thing.
Okay.
So we started a business in 93 as a housekeeping service. And 19 years in, I was on vacation out of the country, and I had a girl that was a no-call, no-show. And when I came home, confirmed. And she went down and filed unemployment. She was a subcontractor, and you can't do that. Well, she did, and she got it. Yes. That doesn't happen, and it wasn't supposed to happen, but it did happen, okay? This was during the time that Obama was president, and it was just one of those things. We were hurting for money. And it was like they wanted everybody to be employee, employer, not contractor and subcontractor. So they went ahead and approved it. I fought it as far as I could. My CPA said, hey, close it down, start under another name and do things differently. So at that point, I gave 4 girls clients in business, told them how to run a business, showed them how to run a business, said, take it, thrive, grow. I don't want anything but take care of the people and take care of yourselves. At that point, I stepped out of taking any new business on. So that was back in 2012. Okay. So 19 years in, thinking this business was going to take care of me in the end. I was building it to, hey, if I wanted to take a trip, I could. Mm-hmm. It was going to be what I could retire off of. So with that, we closed it down, started under another name, never took a new client on. My goal was as my clients had filtered off, I would be done with the cleaning industry. So about 6 years ago, I semi-retired the business and kept my clients over 89 to 102 because I had clients those ages. And it was like I kept them because it's harder for an older person to start over, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen to them because you just never know who's going to come in. It's hard to find good help. Mm-hmm. And so I kept them and thought as they go home or to a home, then I will be done. Well, this was back in 2012. This is 2023. I still have 3 clients left. I know that I still clean for. And the reason I tell you that is because of my heart. I care for these people. I mean, I've got 2 that are 95 years young, and I have a couple that's in their 80s. And one of my 95 years young lady, I've had her for 30 years. She was my third client when I started back
That's incredible.
93. Yeah. So that tells you a little bit about my heart, how the job I do. Mm-hmm. And so with that, in August of 19, my husband kind of went through a midlife crisis, meltdown type of situation. It was not a fun time, but I'm very grateful for it. Because during that time, it made me hit my knees. And I was praying to God, and I woke up and it was like, you know how to clean, you know how to manage people, you know how to run a business. Why are you not using the tools in your hands? That's where Pros Make Ready came from. We launched after lots of arguing, because mind you, I've been trying to get out of the industry, right? And here he's leading me back in the industry. I'm like, that's not what I want. So he won. October 15th of 19, we launched. And that's where the sanitizing, disinfecting service came in.
Okay.
And COVID hit the end of February, 1st of March of 20, and here we were.
Yeah. So that was, as I was looking at everything and knowing a little bit of your story and the timeline, and I thought, okay, so this wasn't a response to COVID. Did you, well positioned, obviously, to take advantage of that situation? Did you immediately have people calling you? Did you hit the ground marketing? What was that kind of story of, here's a great opportunity for us to really take care of people? How did you tackle that?
Well, I'd already been helping people, right? And I already had been around. Right. So for the cleaning industry, my name was out there. Okay. So I had a lot of people still calling and saying, hey, can you clean my house? No, I can't, but I can give you a referral. Well, a lot of those people were still calling me. And so number one, the clientele had already built up. And then also I had gotten into networking in between that time. And so referral base was huge. And that's how we grew so quickly. And then, of course, marketing too. Yeah.
Jumping ahead in my notes, this was perfectly planned out. So with your networking, I know that that's a massive thing that you do. And is that your biggest source of new business? And if it's not, what other kind of marketing do you do?
It's mainly referral base. I have, when I started this business, I started in 93, right? With the housekeeping. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have all this stuff, right? So I didn't have to market that way. So when I started Pros Make Ready back in October of 19, it's like, we're in a different world. I'm going to have to get a website. I'm going to have to be marketing digitally, all of that stuff. So that's where I put a lot of money and effort into. I will say that we have always been in the black and we will stay in the black for this business. We will not go in the red for it. So that's where we're at, but we have spent a lot of money. We have found what really works for us is referral base. 99.9% is referral base. The remainder is Google.
Okay, interesting.
Isn't it?
Okay.
I think it's very interesting.
Yeah. Obviously, having owned several businesses before this, you saw an opportunity, you kind of tackled it. As you're kind of evaluating what to do, do you see an opportunity that you think needs to be addressed? Do you just know you have these skills? And you mentioned a little bit about, praying and getting that guidance there, but, specifically, you had multiple opportunities of how you could have done, whether it was housekeeping or sanitizing. Did you see something that needed to be addressed? What was your decision process around that?
When everything changed back in 2012, I took on way too much because, that was my heart. I had built this business, right? And I didn't want to let everybody go. And so I tried to keep as many as I could. I kept way too many and I hurt my back during that time. Right. So it was one of those things, I can't physically do it like I used to be able to do it. Yes, I can still do it, but it hurts to do it, especially if I'm doing 2 or more houses a day. So it was one of those things that's why I didn't want to do the cleaning. That was one of the reasons I didn't want to do the cleaning anymore. Okay. But the sanitizing was along that same lines, kept us in the same industry. So I had the years of experience. I know about the cleaning industry. The sanitizing was another way to do it that wasn't as taxing on my body, right? And we were able to help people in a totally different way that nobody hardly was doing. And so that was another reason.
Yeah. So not having needed to seek out sanitization before, I don't know how big that industry is, but what does set you apart from others in that industry?
There's not a lot of us doing it, for starters. Now, when COVID happened, a lot of people picked it up. Pest control, cleaners, you name it. Everybody picked that up. But as you notice now, hardly anybody's doing it, right? That was one of those things. We were going to do this forever. We're not a fly-by-night type of business. We are a long-term business. And so therefore, it's getting that word out there, educating people why they need us. During COVID, people understood the value of us. The thing is, COVID's not a thing anymore, right? I know it's still there, but it's not the scare of what it was, right? But there's always going to be something coming down the pike. Every winter we have the flu, we have, strep, we have RSV. RSV is very, very important, whether you're older or you're a little infant. But, it's really funny. After COVID, even people middle age, even kids like in middle school are getting RSV, and that was not a thing before. So things have changed. And we can help with that. We're knocking that sickness down anywhere from 50 to 88% less sickness in your environment. That's huge. It's getting that education out there.
Yeah. And so you do both, going in with the handheld equipment and actually spraying in the rooms, but you also, if I understand correctly, you now have kind of whole office or whole home systems. Is that right?
Yep, we do.
Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept to me. And was that something you initially launched with or found, afterwards and introduced?
No, it was afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done a lot of people, I will say, sorry. A lot of people have hit us up. It's like, hey, have you seen this? Have you tried this? And I'm open. Show me what's out there. Let me do some education, find out what the best thing is. But when I learned about the ionic technology for the home or the business that you can put in your HVAC system, that there's no maintenance for it, that's huge because people just don't do that, right? Yeah. When you got maintenance, it's like, I'm not going to get up in that attic and do anything to that. This little device, ongoing, treats it cleans itself. So every 3 days or so, it's cleaning itself. You don't have to do anything, but it's killing all the stuff we want to kill. The germs, the viruses, allergens, odors, mold, and mildew. So, interesting. Yeah. So it's a win-win. Everybody needs it.
Yeah. With so many business owners, they do this one thing. Maybe they'll expand a little bit. So I love hearing when a company says, we can do this better. What is there out there that's going to let us provide the same service on either a larger scale or more efficiently? Are there other things that you've maybe tested or tried and you're like, this is not going to work out at all? Or have you been really successful finding what works out and what the clients want?
Are you talking about just with pros?
Oh, just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a very hard worker, and I'm one of those, when I commit to something, I'm very, very committed, like a bulldog. Mm-hmm. And so I did network.
I love that.
Well, you almost have to be. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to really dig in there.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things you put a little bit of effort and it's going to succeed. Very seldom. I mean, there are times that you'll get something, you'll get really lucky, but not for the most part, right? We're the exception to the rules. It doesn't happen. Anyhow, so I did multi-level marketing, and that just was not a good fit for me. I did good, but not as well as I needed to do or wanted to do, and I put the effort in it. It just wasn't the right thing or the right product for me. So that's one of those things that just wasn't a big success.
Yeah. We all have those.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like I have more of those than I want to. I'm like, that should have worked. That was such a great idea. Why did that not take off?
But here's the thing. It makes you who you are, and it builds us. I think that's one of the problems we have nowadays is a lot of us want to shelter our children. And it's like, I don't want them to fail. But let them fail. That's what made us who we are. If you go back and you think about your parents, us, before we had kids and whatnot, what made us who we are today? The failures.
Yep.
You got to have them.
Yep. There's that saying, you either win or you learn. And I love that. And it's hard for me sometimes to pause and reflect. I'm one of those who takes a lot of things personal and has a hard time, realizing that it's not necessarily about me. It just didn't work out. And so being able to go back after the fact and say, okay, well, that was a good lesson. What happened there? Let's learn from that and move on. So networking, and I called you the networking queen, and I'm not joking. I don't know anyone that's half as good at networking as you are or has the network you do. And you started or run, I don't know exactly the term to use, but you have quite a few networking opportunities that you have started up. Tell me about that and how you have time for all these.
Well, we all got 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So it was, once again, another accident. I did not plan on starting it. Those are sometimes, it's just like when you have a child and it's not a planned child, they end up being the best, right? Well, it's kind of the same way with this. So I had a friend who reached out and wanted to start a networking group teaching people how to network, because there really is a way to network, right? Mm-hmm. You don't just go around, you throw out your card to everybody and think everybody's going to call you. That's not how you network. Yeah. So there's a way to do it. And it was like, I told her, I said, I would love to help you, but I need to work on growing Pros Make Ready sanitizing services. But I hooked her up with another influencer in the city. I said, get with her. Together you guys can start one. They started a networking group. That first meeting I went to, one of the leaders said, pick a couple of people in the room and set up a lunch. Well, I got to looking around the room because I'm a networker. I'm everywhere. I knew everybody in the room. There was 39 people in the room. So I picked my 2 people. We set up a lunch. And then I started going around just telling everybody, hey, we're going to have lunch over at this local business. You guys are more than welcome to come. And lo and behold, 38 people showed up. I had no idea that would happen, right? Totally shocked. And so we went around and it was like, number one, everybody came to buy lunch. So they blessed that establishment big time, right? And then it was like, look at the power in this room. We have to go around and find out who's here. So we did a 1 minute. Everybody advertising who they were, what they do, and what they're looking for. And at the end, everybody's like, are you going to do this again? I'm like, well, I don't know. Would you come? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, how about next week? I'm like, no, wait. If we're going to do anything at all, we'll do it once a month. And that's how it started.
Okay. And how many are there now?
We have 17 chapters.
17. Okay.
So we started, it was actually, the first one was March 18th of 21. We're 2.5 years old.
Okay.
We have 17 chapters all over the local Oklahoma City metro area. Okay. So we go from right now, Guthrie, Shawnee, Tri-City, Yukon, Mustang, and everywhere else.
That's huge.
In between.
So for those who are listening who aren't good at networking, any maybe 2 or 3 minute, here's how you can get out there. You're uncomfortable, you're scared, you don't know where to start. You walk in that room and you don't know anyone. How do they break into that?
One of your things, I always recommend get a buddy. Get a buddy that has been networking and say, hey, can I hook up with you there?
That's the good kind of cheating. I like that.
Most certainly. Okay. Hey, I'll give you any tips I can. I mean, I want to see everybody succeed. There's more than enough people in this world, in this city, that we can all work together, right? It's all about collaborating, not competing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, have a buddy. Okay. Have that buddy know who you're looking for and introduce you at that event. Make sure to bring some business cards with you. No, it's not about going around passing out a business card to everybody, but you want to pick 2 or 3 different people that you want to connect with and have them introduce you. One thing that's really cool about Mix and Mingle Business Networking, which is a networking group that we created, is having the opportunity. It's friendly. That makes a big difference. Sometimes you go to networking events and it's a very cliquish situation. Yeah, it can be. That's not fun, especially somebody that's an introvert and hasn't been doing it. Yep. And nobody looks over your way. It's kind of like, oh, that person's holding up the wall. Let's just leave them there. No, you'll never come back. That's not what you want. You want a friendly atmosphere. Ours is all about the go-giver. It's all about, what can I do for you? Not, hey, I sell this. Will you buy this from me? Being genuine and authentic. And if you're that, people are going to see it.
Yeah. So you've met a few people. A few. You've got some cards. You go home after the event. How do you appropriately follow up afterward?
I recommend either, what I do is I like to do a text message. Say, hey, It was great meeting you. Okay. I hope you found value. I would love to sit down with you and get to know more about you, your business, and how we can work together. Okay. And see about setting up a coffee date.
So just something simple.
Very simple.
You don't put them on a marketing list?
No.
You don't start hitting them up on LinkedIn, selling stuff? No?
Do not do that. You will get blocked.
You just asked to follow up and meet, have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. And if you notice, it was like, I want to know you, your business, and more about how we can help one another. Truly, I am genuinely interested in you. I want to know about you. Who are you? Yeah. It's just like when we sat down, it's like, Chris, we need to have a one-to-one. Yeah. I need to know more about you, right? Because genuinely, I care. And people can see that. And you should be that same way. Yeah. Be genuine. Because if you're really there just to sit down and have a sales appointment, that's not how you network. People will not sit down with you when they find out you're going to sit there and sell them. Yeah. That is not why you're sitting there.
Yeah. And I think that's a common thing. I mean, if you see either a young salesperson or someone new to a position and, they're there, their stack of cards, handing them out, you can kind of spot them a mile away. Yeah. That's the tough thing to try to help them learn or to see in yourself. Is that what I'm here doing? Is that there's a lot of growth that it takes to kind of reach that point. So I appreciate you sharing some tips that can jumpstart and get past that a little bit.
Well, and that's one of the things, we're all needing to grow business. So, when I was first told build relationship first, it's like, I don't have time to build relationship. I need to make some money so I can get out there and grow relationship. Yeah. But it's really the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So if you weren't doing Pros Make Ready, if your kind of plan maybe had worked out a little bit differently, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know.
Sitting on a beach or?
Oh, I would love to be doing that. I don't have the finances to be able to do that at this point in time, right? But I would love to have a private jet and just go to the beach whenever I want, like for a day type of situation, go catch some rays, come back. I would love to do that. That was really my goal with my cleaning service, was to get to a point that it took care of me well enough that maybe I could have a private jet and be able to go do that for a day and just take some friends with me. I love people. Take some people with me and we go have a good time and come back that night. Wouldn't that be fun?
You know, maybe we should just get a bus and we can drive down to
bus.
Is Galveston, I guess, the closest beach we can go to?
Yeah, but that's not one of the prettiest beaches.
No, it's not. We'll think of something good.
Yeah.
You give a lot of yourself, you know, from networking to just your business in general to all the organizations you're involved in. How do you, or what do you do to kind of pause and recharge and find inspiration?
I guess that's kind of a hard one because I'm a social butterfly, so I'm not an introvert.
Okay.
So it's really hard for me to understand introverted people, but it's great because we're all different.
You're recharged when you're out there doing that stuff.
I really am.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I do enjoy because I hit it really hard all during the daytime. And so when I come home, usually that's my time to get on the computer. I've got 3 different emails, check those, send out stuff, bids, estimates, so on and so forth. To rejuvenate, Saturdays are my Sabbath day.
Okay.
And so that day, I do not try to do any work. Now, if there's a job that comes in, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Right. But for the most part, my calendar is not set on Saturday because I feel like it is so valuable to take a day and rejuvenate. You have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to burn out. And so I take that day. I love walking. Okay. I go walking in nature all the time.
Okay.
That's my time to rejuvenate. It's my God time. It just, especially if I get frustrated, you know, all of us have our days and we have our times that we just, oh my goodness, smoke's coming out the ears. And you're like, oh, I need some time. I put those shoes on and I go out walking. Yeah. And that, when I come back, I'm totally a different person.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Do you have a process, you know, that some people go through, whether it's meditation or they have a cycle they go through, music they listen to, or is it just being able to get away from distraction and thoughts and be with yourself?
I do a lot of praying.
Okay.
I listen to certain music in the car, which really keeps me on the good note. Okay. You know, we live, you know how driving is. And so that keeps me in a positive frame of mind. So I would say that, and then also the walking, and that's really the 2 main things that I do.
Okay, I love it, keeping it simple.
It is. I'm all about simple.
Yeah, I overcomplicate so many things that
all of us.
Reminding myself, no, just, pause, take some time. That's great.
Yeah. And a lot of people look at it like, you're so busy, you're running all the time. I am, but I also know how to relax and have a good time. So I feel like I'm pretty balanced, really.
Yeah. I am probably not nearly as balanced as I need to work on. Yes. I'm curious, again, with all the things you're involved in, is there anything specific that you're most proud of all the things that you kind of do?
Most proud of? It makes me very happy when I can connect somebody with somebody that is going to make a world of a difference in their life that they need. I love connecting people. That makes my heart probably the happiest. Yeah. I really do.
And how do you keep kind of a record, whether it's mentally or physically, of this person's good at this? Or is it one of those things where you just kind of, your mind works in the way where when you hear something, it just kind of brings something up? How do you track
for the most part, it just comes to mind. Because I meet so many people and I do one-to-ones all the time. I was doing probably 3 to 5 a day, Monday through Friday.
Way.
Yeah. And I know it's like, how do you do any work, right? Well, that's where you have a
great team. Yeah.
Yes, that's able to do that. But those one-to-ones, I make notes. If you've ever sat down and had one-on-one with me, I make notes. And I have to do that because I can't keep up with who I talked to this hour. And now I've got this person. I've got 3 I talked to today. And it's like, who said what? So I make notes and then I try to transcribe those into my contact list. Okay. But honestly, you ought to see my pile of all these one-on-ones that I've had that I've not had the opportunity to transfer. But I get to know enough. And when I do put them in as a contact, I do put the title of what they do. Okay. And usually in the notes a little bit about them. Okay. But a lot of it just comes to mind because I just really know quite a few people.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to, I forget who it was the other day, similarly puts the notes in their contact list, which I had never thought of for some reason. And I'm curious, do you have an iPhone?
I do.
So I'm curious now with their new feature where you can copy and paste a picture. I wonder if you could take a picture of the notes and then copy that maybe.
That would be great. I don't know if you can.
We'll try it out later. We'll find out.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, anyway.
That would save me a lot of time.
It would. You could go through that list in no time.
Yes, that would be great.
Is there anything that maybe you were wanting to share or thought maybe we would discuss that I haven't asked you?
Not that I could really think of. I'm an open book. I mean, I'm very open to suggestions. It's kind of like with the Mix and Mingle. We have 4 leaders per chapter, and I value their opinion so much. Every one of them have so much knowledge and so much experience that it's not about me. It's about us. It's a team.
Yeah. And I think so many times, whether it's an organization or a business, you have to have that leader, that catalyst, and then a good support underneath them to kind of run with that vision and take over that. There's obviously no way that I shouldn't say obviously, I would think it'd be difficult for you to solely run 17 networking groups. Right. And so having that team that can support that's incredible.
Yes.
And that's Mix and Mingle,
yes.
Right? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Well, this is great. I'm so glad you had time for this. I'm curious.
Thank you for asking.
I think I know the answer, but 20 years from now, your name comes up. What would you like to be known for?
A genuine person that really cared for people and helped people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing we always ask our guests is, what is the most important piece of technology that you couldn't live without?
Oh, technology. Ugh.
Yeah.
Probably my phone.
Okay. Yep.
Yep, because I use that. It's truly a computer. It's not just a phone. And so I use it for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to start excluding that, aren't I?
Is that what everybody says?
Other than your phone, what would it be? I'm not going to ask you that. No, because you've already answered. You're good. And if someone does want to connect with you.
Yes.
Of the multitudes of ways they can.
Right.
How can they reach out to you?
They can call me, text me. Texting is really good. You can always email me.
Okay.
I've had a couple of emails, so.
We probably don't want to give your cell phone number out since this is going to be on the internet.
Okay.
But is there a website or email that you'd like to share that maybe we can put for everyone? Okay.
We'll say email. Okay. It's sybilhale@gmail.com. Okay. So that's my name, first, last name @gmail.com. Very simple again. Okay. Yes. But I will make a mention that my Facebook got hacked. So we had to recreate it. So a lot of people are like, where are you? I haven't seen you because I post all the time. So it's OG Sybil Hale now.
Okay. And then if somebody wanted to attend one of the Mix and Mingles, how can they learn about those?
You can go to Facebook or you can go to the website, Mix and Mingle Business Networking. Okay. Look that up and it's got the calendar on there, different events that we have. Everything's on there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, and we definitely need to find time. It's ridiculous that we've not
I know.
sat down to chat more.
We've known each other for probably, about 3 years now?
Yeah, thanks for making me feel even worse that I've not made the time to do that.
Not at
terrible. So before we wrap up today, this is our 10th episode, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And I've been incredibly happy to hear people are enjoying it and thanking me and telling me how great a job it is. And I tell them, it is not me. I do nothing. I sit here and chat with amazing people all day long. And I realized I've never given props to the people behind the camera and audio. And Santiago does an amazing job. He is the producer here at Possibilities Inc., where we record our podcasts, as well as an incredible musician. And Mark, our videographer, does amazing work, making all of us look incredibly attractive. And he is the owner of Story Space. He does videos and directs. So we'll put, with their permission, we'll put some links down in the show notes for this, so you guys can reach out to them and give them props because they are incredible. So guys, thank you. This would not exist if it wasn't for you. So well done and kudos. That's it. We're done.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate you. I feel very honored that you asked me to be on this podcast.
Thank you. All right. That's it, everyone. We'll see you next time.
All right.
The Oklahoma Business Show is proudly sponsored by Your IT, managed IT services and cybersecurity for Oklahoma businesses. Are you a business leader who's frustrated with your current technology, worried about cyber threats, and too damn busy to handle it yourself? Your IT makes IT easy, with clear and transparent pricing and the ability to customize services to fit your unique business needs. Visit yourit.com to learn more about our services and schedule a chat to find out how we can help you. That's YOURIT.com. You deserve better IT.